Good morning, Ari.
Good morning, Ed.
You're living the dream, so why wouldn't you be? Is there any final thoughts you have?
Something to look forward to.
What's your goal? Delighted here today to have a young entrepreneur and a young innovator in the form of Mark Kavanagh. You're very welcome, Mark.
Thanks for having me again, Ed.
Okay, it's delighted to have you, Mark, and delighted to talk to you about the story of Wexbury.
In
So
your
tell
lovely
me,
new building.
hey, do you like it?
Stunning.
Yeah,
Right
that's
job.
great.
And the
It's
view
great.
from over in Enniscorthy.
Ah,
It's a great operation.
It's a great place. It's a really great place. Great place to.
You're moving
to-
up in
to
the world,
look at.
Ed.
I am. But hopefully, we want to hear about a story of you moving up in the world, Mark. Okay. So
Oh, God.
tell me about you as a young entrepreneur. What inspired you to become an entrepreneur or an innovator, or someone starting off their own company at such a young age?
Well, everyone always asks me, like, what's your motivation? Like,
Yeah.
I always looked at, like, I never had a choice.
Yeah.
My own brain was always just, I naturally fell into either to start my own strawberry stall. I was would turn in pens at home in the garage. I was always just found myself in situations where I was just doing my own thing.
Right.
Which is strange, I suppose, because, like,
Did you grow up in an innovative entrepreneurial family?
yeah, like a lot of that crack going on in the background, which I suppose,
Yeah.
I didn't see that as the answer to your question, but I suppose almost subliminally, maybe, like a lot of my family have their own businesses, their own setups. They're really, really actively involved in County Wexford with business, and I suppose looking back on it now, yeah, when you're growing up around it, it's a great, role models to have to say, like, that's what I wanted to do. I never thought of looking at it really like that.
So when did you start in terms of in business or doing business? Let's say, what age were you?
All right, I'm going to share a story now that
Yeah.
not a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
I was in third class in primary school.
Yeah.
And whatever notion I had one day, I brought in a shoebox with, like,
Yeah.
a little scissors, some hair gel, and a comb. And I used to do, like, lads' hairs going out to break. I don't know where the idea came from, but I started getting €2 a time every time someone got a bit of gel in their hair, and they were delighted going out to break. So, like, the teacher was getting a little bit ticked off that they had to leave the class open for lunch. But eventually they kind of copped that I was making so much money that they had to, like, this lad has to kind of call it quits. But sure, that was like when I was maybe 7, 8.
Yeah.
And no one knew I was doing it until Mum got the call saying, like, would Mark please mind not bringing in the shoebox?
Yeah.
And, like, that's years ago. I was back in Ballygarrett, NS.
Yeah.
Looking back, that was the first kind of little something that we got going.
Yeah.
But I suppose the most notable would have been the strawberries, definitely.
Starting strawberries on the side of the road, just like Wexford Strawberries.
Yeah, well, I'll be straight up with you. I went about trying to get a job looking to sell strawberries on the side of the road just make a few bob for the summer, and everyone rejected me. Been like, "Oh, he's too young. No, we don't want him."
Yeah.
So naturally, when you're getting all closed doors, I went and set up my own strawberry stall.
At what age?
I was 13.
Oh, good man.
So I got my father's old tool trailer, let down the ramp, put on one tray of strawberries. Didn't even have a chair the first day I started.
Yeah.
No signs up and down the road. And literally, Mark's Market, that's when it all just, 2 stickers on the side of a trailer. And
I heard a little
Thomas today.
I heard a little story about a sign that you did have on the side of the road a couple of years ago when you were selling strawberries. You might tell me about that, because there was a few little people either both happy about it or not so happy about it. So what was that sign?
Well, sure, if you're not controversial, Ed, you're not winning, isn't that
Ah,
it?
right, there you are.
But it's well, when you don't have any money for science, first of all, you're kind of in a hard place, because I was 13, I didn't have anything else going on.
Yeah.
So I actually got a whiteboard, an old half broken down whiteboard, and a permanent marker.
Yeah.
And I just wrote, support the small man, as big with an exclamation mark at the end of it. And people found it so funny. Like, I was 6 foot when I was 13.
Yeah.
And between that and literally the novelty that people got to not go to any of the bigger stalls and purposely go out of their way to support the small man, they got a great kick out of it. It was the extra value they were getting.
Yeah. Was there any other controversial signs that you had on the side of the road? Well, you might.
You're leading me on right good here now.
Go on.
So the best one, they got all the viral publicity back in the day, was 100% orgasmic Wexford berries. And that was the play on, there was the organic trend was only starting to come in. Sure, now it's all green, organic, sustainability. But back then, organic was just coming into the threshold of being relevant. And instead of being the organic fruit stall. We were the orgasmic fruit stall.
man.
And then people were like, well, why are we getting the normal Wexford strawberries when we could have the orgasmic ones? And you're getting all sorts of plays, like people coming up to you is like, oh, is that guaranteed now, is it? And you're like, me as a 15-year-old. Yeah.
And tell me, Mark, tell me, moving on and getting serious about this now, I'm getting serious. How did you move from doing, let's call it the basic selling Wexford Strawberries on the side of the road and to moving into the drinks market?
You can get serious about it, Ed, but I'm going to tell you how it is.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
It was I suppose I was finishing my marketing degree, having had a little bit of success from a few signs and knowing I was kind of handy at this.
Yeah.
To doing your market research and realizing that one of the largest trends in the world from spirits perspectives was actually 30% flavored spirits, flavored vodka.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So in America, things are a little bit different. Vodka here legally needs to be 37.5%.
Yeah.
To be classed as a vodka, where in America it can be 20%, and as long as it's vodka based, you can call it a vodka.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to adjust to the rules here, and we created something that was far more natural, far more real, had a fantastic backstory of support the small man and strawberries on the side of the road, a real authentic story for people to be able to buy into and to enjoy as they were just sipping, I suppose, something really genuine. And not only were it something that was coming from us, but it was a flavour they already knew and loved, was Wexford Strawberries. And whether you go up and down the length and breadth of this country, you being a Wexford man know that the first thing most people will say to you is, where's our strawberries?
Yeah.
So like you're always like, oh, I'll get them to you the next time, whatever. But everyone lives with that. But people forget that the brand power that actually has is so strong. The awareness of Wexford Strawberries nationally is massive. Yeah. So really, we're able to leverage that and our story of actually selling strawberries on the side of the road to almost represent that flavour and bring it hopefully to what the plan is international now. So
cool.
We're a long ways from selling strawberries on the side of the road, but we're still not too far.
So what was the process of actually coming up with the product? And what was the first product? Is this the one here? You mentioned the Wexbury.
That was our first on-the-shelf commercial product. That was what, with our limited budget and resources, we were able to pull together.
Well, it's beautiful branding.
That was, considering the resources we had, I'm still quite proud of what we were able to achieve. Yeah. We had some of the best branding experts in the country, especially in the drinks industry. We had serious food technologists. We had proper manufacturing plants. It was a long build-up to get all of those kind of pieces together, but where we started off was really, really strong. Yeah. And like where we're going is completely different. And but
who supported you in terms of, let's say, getting this on the shelf or getting it on the shelves of either pubs or clubs or supermarkets or whatever? How did you make this work?
Well, I'll go as far to say now that you'd be struggling to go into a bar, a hotel, restaurant in Wexford that wouldn't stock that product. Wow. As long as they have the license. People are very good at supporting local. Yeah. And I make a point of going to visit people and saying hello and thanking them for the business, because I feel like there's a big disconnect between alcoholic drinks in particular. Like, I'll ask them, when was the head of Diageo in to visit you last? And they're like, no. Yeah. If it matters enough to you, you'll show up and say hello. And I have a great relationship with everyone who supports us so far, even with supermarkets between Dunn Stores and Pettit's locally here as well. It's when you help yourself, people will weigh in and give you a little leg up.
Love the brand, love the name, Wexbury and whatever. So no, well done on that.
And the tagline was good. And the Spirit of Wexford was something we were.
Spirit of Wexford.
Spirit of Wexford.
I love that.
Yes, love it. It can work loads of different ways.
Yeah,
but that was where we kind of worked out. We got lucky. It was something that was available, and we took it.
Okay, good on you. And tell me, in terms of taking it, that is Wexford Strawberries. You say it's Wexford Strawberries, but in terms of local suppliers helping you in this, where you're in Enniscorthy, so what other local suppliers were involved in putting this together?
So it was the strawberries obviously come from a farmer, and that farmer is Eamon Crane, who we've been buying strawberries off of since I was 13. So more than 10 years of buying strawberries from Eamon Crane, and we get the berries fresh direct from him, and those berries are processed as soon as possible with Clodagh Davis from Naturally Cordial.
All right.
And we're able to make a flavouring within our premises, Clodagh and Eamon. It all happens within 5 kilometres.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And
Very
then-
sustainable.
Well, sure, look, it was the way that the dice landed.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough that they wanted to work with us. And we're lucky to have them and that they're such great friends of what we're up to.
Yeah.
But then we just bring that to our bottling plant and it all kind of comes together.
And so I've seen that, tasted that, fantastic. So you've moved on, and I see you have a new product. So tell me about it.
Well, it's the same theory of where we went with our original product, but better. It's Wexford Strawberries and cream with a little bit of alcohol in it.
Ooh.
So it's called Wexbury Rose. It is Ireland's first vodka-based cream liqueur, which we're very proud of.
Yeah.
We have a fantastic manufacturing partners that have cream liqueur production facilities. Obviously, we don't have that yet.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
But it was something that, again, it was never what we thought was great, but what people know and love already is Wexford Strawberries and cream. So give the people what they want. And for the moment, especially with the sales figures, you can see that they definitely want Wexford Strawberries and cream.
Yeah.
It's something that even for this time of the year, it's just a real hot topic that we're able to sell really well.
Well, I love Wexford Strawberries and cream and ice cream, but I've never had Wexford Strawberries and cream and vodka. Any chance?
Oh, Jesus, come on, we'll crack one open.
Okay, good on you.
I'll have
Good
one
on
with you, sure, why not?
Good on you.
Why
Good on
not?
you. No, it sounds great, by the way. It sounds great if it's...
Tiny little fellas, aren't they?
great.
I collected these out of the factory yesterday.
Did you? No.
Yeah, for the summer, we'll be selling them at festivals and bars and samples, stuff like that.
Let's give it a
Cheers.
go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
You got rid of it quicker than I did.
Jesus, it's just gorgeous. Oh my God. It's just beautiful, honestly.
It's the aftertaste that
my
you can
God.
often
And
get
I'm
very
not-
artificial.
I haven't
kind
been
of
a big
taste.
fan of vodka, but that is just beautiful.
But it's not anything like vodka.
Yeah, it's not. No,
It's for anyone that like wouldn't know, it's almost like a Baileys.
yeah,
But it's meant to be like fresh Wexford
yeah,
strawberries and cream.
Yeah, and it is. Do you know what? It's not overly heavy either. It's really nice. It's very fresh. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Well, it's designed specifically for Shots Market.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, people are like, oh, that's be lovely now with a pavlova or over a bit of ice cream, or even
God.
just sipping off with a few cubes of ice in a tumbler
few
glass.
ice. That's
But the marketing is really in depth behind this kind of a product, and if you're not on the Shots spectrum of being able to market
Wow.
to that, your volumes go way down. So if we call that Wexford Strawberries and Cream,
Yeah.
people would have the marketing. People would have the assumption that it is for a dessert-based occasion rather than a party-based occasion.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of fine-tuning that went into how that all comes together. But it's something that for the last 3 weeks, we were worried if it was going to work or not. But I can tell you, people are buying into the concept. Yeah,
Cool. Well, like your marketing qualification is really coming to the fore. So
we'll
well
leave it
done.
behind us anyway.
Yeah. Well, look at. Tell me, when you're finishing that off, can I ask you a little bit about? Okay, you're not going to, become hugely successful by selling it only in Wexford pubs and clubs. You've got to go national, and you've got to go export and whatever. So what's your plans? Goals, plans?
Every drinks company, I'll say in the world, but Ireland definitely has to plan for America, because that's where the volume's at.
Yeah.
Cities have the same population as our country here, and although I'm quite literally having arguments with Enterprise Ireland who are telling me, like, if you can't conquer Irish market first, like, that should be the easiest thing for you to do. Whereas the Irish market for Irish drinks is actually extremely competitive.
Yeah.
There's so many options there, and although we actually have like carved out our own niche pretty strongly, we could spend the next 2 years trying to get Galway, Kilkenny, whereas instead the plan is to just land it into America, and there's so much volume that even a small niche can actually carve out a really strong
Wow.
turnover rate. So that's the plan, but it's everything that you're seeing, even what's here in front of you, is almost all after being changed. We're very lucky that we're involved with Borbia, Chagas, Enterprise Ireland, that have funded us and supported us to completely rebrand how we're presenting the offering. Because as I said at the start, Wexbury has fallen into one of the highest growing spirit categories in the world at the moment, which is 30% flavored spirit drinks, flavored vodkas as such. And we're able to offer a natural, sustainable, local feel to that trend, which is traditionally made up of, I suppose, false promises and artificial flavors that, like when you tasted that cream, you were like, that. Even now, I'd say you're having a lovely aftertaste. Yeah. Whereas if that was really artificial, you'd actually be there thinking to yourself,
you would.
I won't have another one of those.
I agree.
Whereas
you'd
sit back and you'd sip away with that with a few cubes of ice all day, every day.
Yeah, I agree. And so how are you going to, let's say, get your foot in the door in America? How does that work?
Well, we already have, really. So we sent product over to one of the biggest bar groups in Manhattan in New Jersey. And they loved it. It was something that they didn't have anything else like it. Yeah. That was obviously had an Irish connection. They're a band of Irish pubs and restaurants. And when we sent over the products, they tested it. They were charging some scandalous, like $11 a shot, whatever they were getting for it, because it was artisan, it was Irish, it was relevant to what they were doing. And they said, look, if you can get this stuff over to America, we'll list you. And when you're able to get that letter as a piece of paper and present that to a bank or an investor, it gives everything credibility of why not only you're going to land into America, but when you get there, you have sales lined up. Yep. So it's filling in all the pieces of the puzzle and almost trying to build a bridge from there back rather than from Enniscorthy to there. Because if you don't get in with the right distributor, the right wholesaler that they don't deal with, it's a whole extra process to try and build into their model. Whereas it should always be about the customer. And if you can make it work for them, it works for you.
Good on you. Good on you. Well, congratulations. It's great. It's great traction hitting America so quick at an early stage. And we have kind of natural links in America apart from, as you mentioned, the Irish pubs. We've got a great natural link between Wexford and Savannah, for instance. So there's great opportunities there, as you say, to get a foot in the door in the American market and go from there.
Well, it's the one thing that's one of the biggest supports of starting what we've achieved so far is that we're not another anything. Yeah, it's not another gin. It's not another vodka that has a different logo on the front of it. It's a completely different take on where the spirits industry is sitting at the moment. And because of that, people are kind of like, it takes a little bit of education to explain how that can build into their model. But once they get into it and they realize that it's a quality enough product that they're happy to serve and that their customers are more than happy to drink, it'll work. But again, in time, we're on the cusp of a trend rather than on the tail end of something that happened 5 years ago. So it's always about that. What's next? What do people want rather than what we think is cool?
Look at Mark. It's been fantastic to have you. You're a magnificent example of a young entrepreneur.
It's always good crack being here, Ed.
So look at keep it going, and we will have you back to let us know what's happening in America in the months ahead. So thank you again for coming in.
No bother. I'd be delighted to come back.
Cheers. Good morning, Ari.
Good morning, Ed.
You're living the dream, so why wouldn't you? Is there any final thoughts you have?
Something to look forward to.
What's your goal?